Hi guys, in this video we're going to be taking a look at the don't belong injunction, and as we have done in our other videos, we're going to be really diving into really trying to understand how us as adults or parents or as educators may unconsciously be promoting this. And also, more importantly, we will be having a look at some kind of simple things that we can do to help really navigate around this and really allow our young people to feel that they can actually belong within the setting that they are in. So firstly, if I am thinking about some of the thoughts that a young person could have who may have this injunction, they could be something around them feeling different. So again, they could be among people who are exactly the same as them, but there could always be that internal feeling of I'm different to everyone else here. They also may have thoughts of being unliked. And again, similar to being different, this may be communicated explicitly, but also a lot of the time this is not communicated, and it's just an internal message that is played around in the young person's mind that other people don't like them. And on the flip side, another thought that a young person could have is a mindset of superiority. And again, we will dive into this when we look at some of the behaviors that may be presented. So some of the things that us as adults may do which can really promote this injunction is we can really have a disregard for other races in front of the young people who are in our care or are in our house. So again, it can be as simple as, well, I don't think that black people are great, or black people are less than, or Asian people are such and such. And so this image can be painted to that young person that if they are around such people, that they can never belong around them because they are better than them, or because there is something inherently wrong with other races. And the second thing which I wanted to touch upon is sometimes this injunction can be promoted by us as adults really most of the time unconsciously causing our children to be really afraid of the outside world and of strangers. And when I say this, I'm not talking about the healthy understanding of, if there's someone that you don't know, you shouldn't be following them. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the fear that parents have of their children being snatched all the time, or something terrible happening, or untrusting other people that may not have ever done anything to them. And when we transfer these fears to our children, it can really bring about a sense that I can't belong here, or I can't make connection with the people around me, just in case it's dangerous, or just in case it's not safe for me, even though there may not be any indications of their safety being compromised. And in terms of kind of one or two behaviors which we might see in young people who might struggle with this injunction, is we might simply see young people that really push people away. And when I say pushing them away, it might not be for any apparent reason. So in my time as an educator in special needs, there were young people who had this injunction that you could be so lovely to them, so happy, so loving, but there would always be something in them that would push you away. And normally they would seek to push you away before you had a chance to push them away. So there was always a feeling of, I don't belong here, so I'm going to try and sabotage this relationship before it can develop into anything more meaningful. And the second thing, or the second behavior which we might see, is we might see a young person that is really seeking to please everyone. And in seeking to please everyone, it's a way for them to stay in connection. But this staying in connection is birthed out of fear. And what I mean by that is they may have a feeling that if they don't please their friends or if they don't please the adults around them, they can easily slip out of belonging. And so this is what I would call pseudo belonging, because it's not authentic belonging, because it is attached with loads of different conditions. And if the young person doesn't, adhere and please, then the position within the group can easily slip away and can easily be broken. So if I'm working with this type of injunction and I'm thinking about one or two things which I think are key when it comes to someone feeling that like they belong, I feel that connection, so the ability to connect with people and to build meaningful relationships, is important. And secondly, and I think really importantly, is safety. That when I belong somewhere, I feel that I'm safe to, number one, show up as who I am, and number two, feel as though my safety won't be compromised. And for me, this really speaks to the being stage in the cycle of development. And again, there will be a link in the suggested videos if you want to catch up on a more in-depth discussion on the being stage. And again, when we look at the being stage, it's that time where the child is just seeking to be loved and is seeking to belong and is asking the simple question, can I be who I am and be cared for? So some of the affirmations which I might use if I really want to promote connection and safety with a young person with this injunction is, I'm really glad you are here and you belong here. And again, these are very kind of simple messages, but have or can have a very deep and meaningful impact. So when we're thinking about kind of one or two maybe strategies that we could use to really promote and allow the child to feel like they can belong and that we are glad to see them. As I said in my other videos, and I will drum on it until the cows come home, we really have to be intentional and consistent. These strategies are not something that you do on, a Monday and never do it again for a month. And these are not strategies that you might do once and then get discouraged because you haven't seen an immediate change. This is about really changing the frame of reference of the young person and will really take a long period of time. But if we can remain with it and believe in it, it will kind of bear the fruit of the child feeling more comfortable in connecting with others. So kind of two things that I wanted to kind of jump on quickly was, it's really important for us as kind of adults to separate behavior from the young person. And that is really, really important. So for someone who doesn't belong, it's important that the way that we communicate is we are saying that they belong, but their behavior is inappropriate and possibly doesn't belong here. And it can be as simple as just changing our language when we are dealing with a incident or when we're dealing with something that's gone wrong. So simply, instead of saying, I'm not happy with you, which really communicates that you are not happy with the person in terms of who they are, we can simply change it to, I'm not happy with your behavior, which really shows that we want connection with you. However, the type of behavior which you are displaying is not wanted here. And again, it's very small, but again, it really does pack a big punch when the child knows that who they are and the value that they have is separate from what they do. And the last thing is, as educators and parents and adults, it's really important that we make the move first towards connection. And what I mean by that, there's no point us waiting and thinking, well, why isn't Johnny coming up to me? If he doesn't feel like he belongs, he needs to do things that help him belong. No. It's really important for us to do the thinking for them, and that really connects to the being stage. That when you don't belong, you're not thinking of ways to belong. And it's up to us as adults to really model and show what belonging looks like. And that looks like being cared for, being asked about how you are, and being included in the small things. So yeah, there it goes, guys. That was a little bit of a longer video, but thank you for listening. And in our next video, we will be taking a look at the don't be a child injunction. And as always, we'll be looking at some presenting behaviors and some really concrete things that us as the big people can do to really help them to be able to be who they are at the stage that they are at. So yeah, there you go, guys. Again, please give it a thumbs up. Please share this video. And again, if you have any questions about a young person that you might be in contact with, please don't hesitate to email me. Again, my details will be in the description box. And as always, I will see you next week.